It is interesting times in Cameroon. I must admit that I feel lucky to have lived to experience this day. And when I say that, it does not mean that I am declaring that there's been a winner in the presidential elections of Cameroon, but it just feels good to have lived today, to have seen how Cameroonians, the same Cameroonians that we sit and we complain about ourselves and say, hey, we are people who do not know how to stand up for themselves. And that's what Cameroonians would describe themselves to be, right? Because for 43 years, or since 1992, when most Cameroonians could tell that yes, this was an election that was rigged, and people could really see that then the SDF won the elections, but the opposite results were proclaimed. So today is another day where you have seen Cameroonians show up and protect their votes. Cameroonians did not only vote, they did not only show up at the polling stations to vote, they showed up at the polling stations and they voted, and they stayed and protected their votes. So at least at the end of today, October 12, 2025, most Cameroonians are going home with an idea of what the polls look like, with an idea of who was leading or who led in their polls. Whatever Elecam is going to come later to tell us, we will know that this is what we saw, this is what the people registered, these are the pictures and the videos that the people took. Even if something else comes, because it's a repeat, if this happens, if tomorrow or in 2 weeks' time, we wake up and we hear that Issa Chiruma Bakari is not the winner of the presidential elections in Cameroon, we will know that this is just a repeat of 1992. We will know that it's a repeat. So the people decided to go out today, not only to vote, but to vote and to protect their vote. The mistake that people believe was made in 1992 was the fact that, yes, people voted, they counted and saw that they had voted, but they did not protect those votes, right? There was celebration. Nijan Frunti, may his soul rest in peace. He was celebrating, we don't win, right? But he did not put in the necessary measures to protect those votes. And that is how those votes got stripped out of his hands, and the same person became president again. This time it is different. The people have spoken. It is interesting for someone like me who follows news, I'm not a big fan of mainstream media, because we've all seen what mainstream media does, right? Even in the US, we all know what is happening around mainstream media, what is being put out there. And there is a tendency that people tend to believe more in independent journalists' podcasts. This is where the truth is coming from. If you want to hear the truth about things even within the United States, I wouldn't lie to you. It is not the mainstream media that will tell you that truth. It comes from those podcast platforms, the independent journalists. And this is what Cameroon did this year. This group of individuals decided that we are not going to depend on the CNNs and the BBCs and the CRTVs. No, we are going to be our own reporters. We are going to send our people out there. Shout out to all the people in Project C. People are doing an amazing job. I'm so happy that I was able to donate my own little cent to support that mission. Shout out to you people, the reporters that you were able to send to go out there on the field and report whatever is happening. Because you people brought us unfiltered news. You brought us unfiltered images, videos. And this is what made so many Cameroonians stay up today just to see what is happening. I am honored to have lived to see today. I've spent my whole life today on different live videos, particularly the Mibi Mefu platform and all the other media platforms who have been covering this event all day today. That is because mainstream media has failed the people. And when the people decide to stand up and do their thing, they don't need to depend on mainstream media. I saw a report on CNN. I'm saying that Biya will probably win. They're kind of insinuating that Biya might win the elections again. No. Based on the numbers on the ground, there is no way you can insinuate Biya is going to win. But do we know what the results will be in 2 weeks? Will Cameroonians relive what they lived in 1992 and the subsequent elections that have happened after that? You and I, we don't know. We don't know, but we know. You get it? But then, the fact that we've been able to live today, the fact that we've been able to see, go through the process of our votes, go through the process of these votes being counted, being recorded, and people have videos and images, even the fishy stuff that were happening in some parts of the country, people recorded all of those things, which means that if the wrong results are declared, there is evidence. People do have evidence to prove that these are some of the fishy things that happened in some of the polling stations. I'm so proud of you, dear Cameroonians. I'm so proud of us. It's true that some of us only have platforms like this to sit and talk, or our cameras to sit and talk, because yes, we are not on the ground, but we are supporting you, we are seeing you. I can guarantee you, people, I've been on a Facebook X Live, on an X Live all day today, commenting, going and looking for updates on different platforms and giving them on different platforms. This is because the people have become their own journalists. And this is what happens when the people stand up to run things. And this is what has happened in Cameroon. The people have stood up to say, this is our country. We want, this is what we want, and it is going to be this. The people chose Issa Chiroma Bakari to be the person that leads them. So this is not about Issa Chiroma Bakari. It is about the people of Cameroon. The people have made a choice. The people are tired of the current regime. The people just need change. And Issa Chiroma Bakari just happens to be the flag bearer to run this thing. It is not because they love Issa Chiroma Bakari to the moon and back, no. It is because the people chose him to lead. So this is about the people of Cameroon. I appreciate you both so much. It just feels great. It has been a very emotional day, because when you listen to most Cameroonians, there is very little hope. So many people will tell you, man, all this thing you are doing, you're wasting your time. I was looking for people to talk to last night because I was restless, calling different friends, just wanting to get someone to listen to me. But most of the people around me are still very discouraged. They'll tell you, why are you wasting your time with this thing? We all know who is going to win. You know that all of this is noise. Hey, social media, diaspora, you people are just making noise on social media. That's what people say. But the truth is that in as much as the people, there are people, some of us on here, we are not on the ground to vote. We're probably not even able to vote. But that ability to call on the people on the ground, we are underestimating that influence, that when you speak, when you remind someone that, hey, this thing has been a repeat. We cannot do the same thing over and over again and expect change, right? We cannot be doing the same thing and expecting something, different outcomes. When you speak like that, even if it's just one person or 5 people who heard my voice or who heard the voices of all other people on different social media platforms and went out there to vote, it is worth acknowledging. So yes, social media has played a role. So many people out there in Cameroon, probably they have voters' cards and everything, registered to vote, but they don't care because they have given up on the system. They will tell you that what are we going to do this year that will be different from what was done the past elections. But we can see that it's different. The atmosphere is different. So many polling stations, you could see people fighting for their votes. When they see anything fishy, they call it out. They take pictures, they make videos, and these pictures and videos are circulating. Yes, because the people know what they want. It feels great to have lived today. October 12, 2025 is a memorable day. At this point, because it is Cameroon, impossible n'est pas camerounais, which means impossible is not Cameroonian, if that is a word-for-word translation, which means that there is nothing that is impossible in my country, Cameroon. In as much as we've seen these numbers, we've seen declarations of the winner, in 2 weeks, anything can happen. In 2 weeks, you can come and you hear that Bakari had 100 votes. I will not be surprised, because that is our country, that is where we come from. But that is the difference this year, is that the people have not just sat back and watched the ruling party just play them. The people have stood up and fought for their votes. They know what it is. So even if the electoral committee comes out and says, these are the results, the people can still sit and say, this is what we had and this is how we can challenge it. This is amazing. This is truly, truly amazing. And these results are everywhere. In our phones, we have videos and recordings of everything that has happened on the ground today. Kudos to you, everybody that was on the ground. All of you who went out there to cast your votes. Those of you who stayed at the polling stations to count your votes, to record the process, to record the results and share in your different contact groups. Amazing job. Thank you. Whatever the outcome will be, I want to just let you know that this is the first step towards Cameroonians taking back their country. It is the first step. Even if Issa Chiroma Bakari, God forbid, does not win these elections, I want to tell you that there is something different in every Cameroonian, especially the ones that have paid attention to these elections. I wouldn't lie to you. I feel different. And I can guarantee you that so many other Cameroonians out there feel different. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Cameroon will be able someday to be Cameroon. The people in Cameroon will be able to enjoy the resources of Cameroon. Cameroon is said to be Africa in miniature. That is not just an adage, it is a fact. But do Cameroonians live to experience this? No. Just a select few are enjoying all the benefits of the natural resources of Cameroon, while the rest of the country dies in hunger, poverty. Opportunities are nowhere to be found. We go to school, we learn all the things, write the most difficult exams out there, come out and there are still no jobs. Why are Cameroonians fleeing the country? Because there is nothing to be done there. Why are Cameroonians all over the world? Because there is nothing for them to do in Cameroon. It is time for us to take our country back. It is time for us to take our country back. God is watching. He's going to give us back our country. If they play with the elections this year, they can only play with it for so long. And even if Biya still remains in power this year, one thing remains a fact. Cameroonians have become conscious. That fire that has been lit in the heart of Cameroonians, nobody will ever quench it. And I pray that God touches the heart of those people in Cameroon, the same people who have had the opportunity to go to other parts of the world and gain education, had the freedom to do the things they wanted to do, but got back to their own country and shut Cameroonians down. The same privileges that they enjoyed in different countries, they are not able to give their own fellow Cameroonians back in Cameroon. If we cannot vote them out, dear God, do not let your people down. Cameroon needs to change. So many people in Cameroon have great talent, intelligent people, but there is nowhere for them to be able to show these skills, to monetize these skills and even be able to live good lives, because we are being ruled by some wicked old people. God bless Cameroon. I am happy to have lived this day, and I hope you are too. Today is still October 13. Let's see what happens in the weeks to come. The results are expected to be declared in 2 weeks. Let's see what happens. But even before the results we already got a report, which I will read out to you, because when I saw it, I was like, this is amazing. Okay, this is just great, because this is a report that came from the Union for Change, right? And these are people who are observing the results as well in Cameroon as it's going on this October 12th. Right? And I'm just going to read it out to you. And it's written in French because my French is not that good. I had AI translate it. So this is an AI translated version of this report, a letter that came from the Union for Change. And it says, Declaration of October 12, 2025, following the presidential election. The Cameroonian people have spoken. The compilation of results coming from all corners of the country, as well as from abroad, has delivered an undeniable verdict. The consensus candidate of the people, Issa Chiroma Bakari, is the winner of the presidential election of October 12, 2025, with a percentage ranging between 60% and 80% in several polling stations. Despite the traditional fraud machinery of the ruling party, Issa Chiroma Bakari inflicted a crushing defeat on the candidate of the RDPC. We therefore call on the outgoing president to promptly extend his congratulations to the winner. We further call on the administrative authorities and the defense and security forces to respect the will of the people. The Union for Change 2025 calls on the Cameroonian people to remain mobilized to vigorously defend their victory and take their destiny into their own hands. Done in Douala, October 12, 2025. For the Union of Change 2025, signed by Aniset Ekane and Njokam Chambeni. Yep, that's what we get. So based on what we are seeing so far, Issa Chiroma is winning, he's leading. Will they switch the results around in 2 weeks? You and I cannot tell because, as I said earlier on, impossible n'est pas Camerounais. But yes, regardless, I am at peace. I love how I feel, not for the fact that Issa Chiruma has been declared winner, but for the fact that Cameroonians stood up. Cameroonians voted. The people's choice. They came together and voted for change. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks. I'll be back here to tell you, regardless of who wins. If Issa Chiruma takes it, yay! If Bia takes it, it's just the same old trick. Thank you so much and stay glued. Your girl Soso Babes.